Hey everybody, I know it's been a while since I've done a video, and I wish I could say I've been busy, but I really haven't. Has not been a very good winter, as far as I just really haven't had much motivation to do a whole lot. Other than that, it's been a great winter, not a lot of snow. And when I have to move snow for part of my job, believe me, that's a good thing, not a lot of snow. But I have been doing some work. The last video, I think I had the stab all built and I had started the sheeting on it. And now the sheeting is complete. Of course, I got the elevators just taped on there. I taped the elevators in place. Excuse me. So that way I could start doing more of a final sand and blending it into the stab. And also I put the tips on there, and I had to make sure the elevators were temporarily attached to the stab so I could get all the angles just right. I mean, when you look at it, the tips are perfect. Well, right now they're just rough sanded. They're not quite right yet. This is all done with 80 grit, so I still have to go over the whole thing with like some 220, but I got to do some spackling first. And just before I turned the camera on, I cut the stringers back here so I could get the stab on there for you. So we're seeing the tail on there for the first time together, and it fits good. And just out of curiosity, let's see if it's straight. Now, hold on. There, that's on there pretty straight now. A little crooked, but oh well. Nothing a little bit of sanding can't fix. But anyways, there we have it. Now, last month was interesting because I bought 2 more chipmunks. I mean, I know I have a problem. I mean, without a doubt, my little pride and joy is right there, my Goldberg Super Chipmunk. And as all of you saw from the video last June, was the 30th anniversary of this airplane in my family. So that's a very important airplane. Last month, while scrounging on Facebook, I found this little jewel. This is another Goldberg Chipmunk done up in the Pepsi scheme. Really nice aluminum spinner, OS 91 4-stroke. The plane was not built and covered extremely well. All these angles aren't right. The red should actually be way back here, so I'm going to redo that. And the rudder, it might be kind of hard to tell, but look at the thickness of the rudder and look at the thickness of the fin. Yeah, the wrong sheeting or the wrong sticks were used for the rudder, so that's got to get replaced. But I bought this for like $100, and I could not help myself. Had to have it. And the best part about this is the day after I bought this, I found this one. Now this is one that I've been wanting in my collection for a long time. For those of you that remember the Ohio Rc Chipmunks, this is one of them. 82-inch wingspan. Oh, sorry, I'm out of breath for some reason. I don't know why. I picked this one up, not exactly local. It's about an hour drive, but not too bad. But when I got it, it was already set up for the Super Tiger 2500 cup mount, which is why it's got this round plywood piece here on the firewall. So I had to do a little bit of modification to get my DLE 30 in here. And because the spacing with this added round piece would have made the engine stick out too far, I just drilled, using a paddle bit, drilled through it to the actual firewall. So my standoffs are actually recessed in here. Shouldn't have any problems. This should work out pretty nice. Of course, the cowl When you look at it from this side, it looks like it just needs a fresh coat of paint. But when you look at it from this side, you can tell it had a big old Super Tiger engine in it. So, could I rebuild that cowl? Of course. But, just today in the mail, I got, I don't drop the damn thing, brand new cowl from my good friends at Fiberglass Specialties, or Specialist. I always forget. I hope nobody from there is watching, because I always forget. Is it Fiberglass Specialties or Specialists? I can never remember. But, got a brand new cowl from them, and it's absolutely beautiful. Of course, you know, it needs some sanding, and that's fine. No big deal. And even though I wasn't going to use this cowl, I did some changes to it, and pretty much got this cowl completely mounted with this engine. So I'm actually going to cut this cowl apart strategically and set it over top of this one and basically use this old beat up cowl as a template to cut the new one. So then I'll just be able to slide the new one on there. Always thinking ahead. Unfortunately, I cannot find a canopy, but this one is salvageable. I'm going to do some polishing on it just to get it as clear as I can. It's got some splits, but I'm gonna fix that by using some of that I got it over here somewhere. This Oracle clear vinyl. I'm just gonna put some of that on the inside just to reinforce it. Then I'm going to reattach it to the plane. Then I'm going to paint it while it's on the plane. Now on camera, I'm sure this looks like a pretty nice airplane because I've done a lot of polishing to it, a lot of touch-up work. But when you get up close, you can definitely see the age, and I am absolutely okay with that. I actually prefer that. I want this plane to be nice looking. But at the same time, I want it not to be, you know, I don't want it to seem like I'm ashamed of how old the airplane is. So when we get up nice and close to the rudder, and you can see it's dinged, it's boo-booed up. You know, I still got some more polishing I'm going to try to do. You know, some of the covering imperfections are not going to come out. I mean, look at that. We get up nice and close. It's not perfect. And I've added a new top piece here for this blue checker, and you can tell that I did it. But like I said, that's perfect. It's an old airplane, and I'm proud of it. Now, two things that I did end up doing. When I got it, it did have the Pepsi logo already on here, but they were all torn up, beat up. There were some holes in the white. And trying to peel off the old Pepsi logo, it started tearing off the covering. So I just cut all the white off and then got a fresh roll of white monocoat and redid the white. So this is original, this is original, this is new. And when you look at it, you can't tell I put a new piece of covering on there, can you? Looks like it's been there since day one. That's the idea. The other thing I had to do is the color scheme was not exactly correct. When I got it, it was blue, white, and red. It did not have the blue stripe here, the red stripe here, and the white pinstripe. It did not have that. And these angles weren't right. It was kind of like it swooshed around, and this one kind of did one of these numbers. It was not right. It didn't line up with the blue on the wing like it's supposed to. So I didn't have to remove any covering, but I was able to get creative and just add more blue to make the angle right, and then add the red, and then add the white pinstripe. And the same for back here. I was able just to add more covering to it and get the lines that I need. So now when you sit back and look at it, when you look at those lines, they're perfect to each other. Is the way it's supposed to be. So I'm happy about that. That turned out real nice. And the bottom has the checkerboard, just like the full scale did. And you know, like I said, it shows some age. I mean, look at these wingtips. Wingtips are all banged up, and we got some pretty serious dents under here. You know, like that guy right there. You know, I don't care. I like that. Like I said, this is an old airplane built in the 90s. Nothing wrong with that. I got everything pretty much ready to go. It's all programmed. I had to add a switch because this is obviously running on gas now. So I needed 2 switches. So what I need to do now is see if I can find a pilot that I want to put in there, or I may not put a pilot in it, I don't know. Get the canopy all mounted up, and drill up the new cowl, and get that painted and mounted, and we'll be good to go. I just ordered my graphics from Cowl, so I'm sure they'll be absolutely perfect, as usual. And as you can see, kind of a wonky setup for the rudder. That's how it was when I got it. That's not the way it's supposed to be. The way it originally was is when we look underneath, you can see where the tail wheel went, right, or where the servo for the rudder went right there, and it had an arm attached to the wire up here. As you can see, it's all tied in together. So the servo operated the arm that was on here, but that broke, and this wire is already pre-bent, and it's in there. It's not coming out. So I didn't feel like tearing all that out of there and, you know, redoing it. So I just stuck with what was already on there. So unfortunately, in the tail section area, it's kind of busy with servos, but whatever. That's all right. Like I said, this is not going to be winning any beauty pageants. I just want another chipmunk. And I've never been a real fan of the Pepsi color scheme. I've always preferred Art Scholl's. But I'm telling you, it's kind of growing on me. I like it. I mean, definitely when I finish this bad boy, it's going to look just like that one. But it's going to be kind of cool having this one and that Goldberg up there, and the Goldberg that's hanging over there that's in the Pepsi, and this one in the Pepsi. Hey, why not? 2 and 2. So that's where we're at. Just wanted to make sure everybody know I wasn't dead. And I am still working on stuff. So there we have it. Chipmunks galore. We're getting close to flying season, folks. Very close. I honestly don't think I'm going to do any more work on this. We'll see. We'll see. But I need to get the Zeroli Mustang back out, and I need to get a new receiver mounted in there, kind of redo the wiring situation, because it was just a mess. And it was set up for, it had Spectrum equipment in it, and there was about 100 receivers in there, which is why I run Fataba. I only need one. So I yanked all that stuff out of there. So we're going to get it all set up, and that'll be ready to go. And what else do we got? Oh yeah, and I did pretty much finish up my Dan Stevens Stick It Funfly model here. But I don't know if I'm actually going to finish it to the point where I'm going to fly it or not. I honestly don't know. This is just something that kept me busy in the beginning part of winter, and honestly I lost interest. So whether or not I fly it, who knows? Stay tuned. You never know. So I'm going to get this put back on the shelf. Trying to think what else is going on here. And because I ended up buying this chipmunk here, the 30cc Raven will not be getting built, because all the equipment that was intended for this airplane went into that airplane. So anybody local, I'm not into shipping stuff. I'm in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is southwest Michigan. Anybody interested in this airplane, let me know, because it's for sale. Well, hell, all of it's for sale, but that's really the only one I'm, anxious to get rid of. Mainly because that's the spot for this guy. Because unfortunately, this guy doesn't have a home down here yet. So there we have it. Until next time, see ya.